It was those intrepid nuns that came and braved all kinds of elements and understood that even when you were braving the elements, it was still important to have a keyboard instrument and to have the things that represented the deeper part of the soul.
Our congregation was founded in a little town called Longueuil, outside of Montreal. Eulalie de Rocher was her name, with two companions, started the congregation. The congregation grew very rapidly, and by 1859, they sent 12 sisters to Oregon. They set sail down the St. Lawrence River, and they stopped in New York to buy a piano. It was so important for them right away to start with music education.
These nuns, they were progressive and fearless. They kind of were, in some ways, ignored, and so they were free to build what they wanted to build.
The history of the Holy Names Sisters and their focus on music education and educating the whole person and making that a part of the Music Center is just very unique.
It provides a full-service music school that for people in the community, you can come and get lessons on just about any instrument from some of the finest teachers in the city.
Well, we have a lot of members of our orchestra who were trained at Holy Names and a lot of members who are also teachers there today.
When I was in high school, I was the accompanist for a soprano named Karen Beardsley. I was so privileged to get to go to her voice lessons and studied with Sister Marietta Coyle, who was also the voice teacher of Thomas Hampson. I think sometimes I got more out of those lessons than Karen did, because Sister Marietta was really interested in how the piano fit with the vocal lines, and she was a great accompanist herself.
My first official teaching job was at Holy Names Music Center, which was very precious to me as it was a continuation with my being a student of Sister Marietta, who was a venerable teacher.
The experience at the Music Center with Sister Marietta was for me fundamentally life-changing. The atmosphere in her studio, the atmosphere in now what is the Music Center, was one of protected enlightenment. You were invited to let your imagination wander. And of course, you as not just an artist or a performer or musician, but as a human being, to find a richer reason to be here.
Holy Names Music Center quickly put me to work and gave me a wide open course to teach something about contemporary music. So I instantly understood that Holy Names Music Center was about the broadest sense of music.
Archie certainly is a professional who's played all over the world, grew up in Spokane, but has trained and has a wonderful background. And his wife, Rona, has had a music school of her own for several years. So we have that administrative background as well as the music background in our two that we have now. So I think we have kind of a top priority in our leadership at this point in time.
Working side by side with Archie, he was really appreciative of all the different styles of music. I noticed, not just classical music, but pop, jazz, vocalists, and so that kind of impressed me.
I teach with the Suzuki method a lot with the younger ones because it helps them to learn to listen and to approach the piano properly, but it also teaches them that they have to keep in rhythm, and we do a lot of clapping, we do some singing, and we do some playing, and it incorporates all of those things so that they really feel it and get it into their bones.
I truly believe that music is not an extracurricular activity, as it often is labeled, but rather something vital and a center point of every healthy culture and community. It doesn't mean that we're training every single student to go on into the field as a professional, but what it does is it allows the skills of collaboration, of interaction, of interpersonal skills to be developed in really great ways that serve any field.
It does take effort. It does take focus and concentration. And then the wonderful feeling of satisfaction when you have mastered a certain technique.
The most recent research where they hook up musicians playing to MRIs, and all of the main centers of the brain are talking to each other. And the benefits that they've discovered is that musicians are better at math, better at language. But the cool thing is they've also found out that musicians are better problem solvers when the problem is multi-level, when there's no obvious answer.
Skills of listening, of collaborating, of learning that by application you can really achieve things that you didn't think possible. A music education gives you all of these things.
With all of the cuts happening within the school districts, that Holy Names is more important than ever to provide music to people, children and adults, who would not otherwise have that opportunity. We have a robust scholarship program where not only do we provide lessons, but we also provide instruments for free.
There's monthly recitals where the kids can play in front of their parents and other kids. There's summer camps for almost every instrument where they can come and meet other kids interested in what they're interested in.
There are plenty of private teachers teaching out of their home or another studio. But I also think the advantage of Holy Names is the students playing with each other. And sometimes I have little groups of cellists get together and play, and they really enjoy that.
Passing on of the spark of music is one of the most important things we as professional musicians can do. So any institution that fosters that love and sending the elevator back down, I think, is extremely important.
My daughter took 7 years of cello lessons, and she formed an amazing bond with her teacher and got to meet some other great students along the way. My other daughter has taken both drum and piano lessons at Holy Names Music Center, and it's really helped her come out of her shell.
My wife Vanja and I have 2 little boys, and they're little cellists. They're actually in the Spokane Youth Symphony. So B. Reynolds is their cello instructor, and B is just one of those beautiful souls in the world. My kids, they learn best when the learning environment is fun, and B just has this ability to create this atmosphere of learning, but have it fun as well. And her ability to connect with the kids and really bring out just the appetite for learning and the appetite for really learning another language is beautiful.
Without telling our children to play music, which we never told them to. They both are musicians, songwriters, not just singers, but they're songwriters. They're very creative, and they're coming out with these beautiful melodies.
It just breeds and creates a more well-rounded child, which breeds and creates a more well-rounded community and nation and world.
Certainly looking back, I absolutely expanded my world through music. In fact, I wouldn't be sitting here now in Spokane, Washington, from a small town in the middle of England if that had not been the case. I was extremely lucky that I stood on the shoulders of some really wonderful teachers, and it has taken me all around the world. And I just think for me, in my life, passing that on is really the purpose of my life, whether it's on the concert stage or in teaching, and I think every musician would feel the same.
I always tell everybody it's the best job I could ever have. It's absolutely what I love to do, and I think Holy Names has provided me with just an opportunity to meet some very wonderful students that maybe I wouldn't have encountered otherwise.
I'm really excited about the leadership at the center, and there are more students joining. There's growth happening, new teachers.
Fees collected from the lessons that we provide do not cover all of the expenses of Holy Names Music Center. The electrical, repairs, the maintenance and upkeep, as well as making sure that we have the best quality teachers that we can find. So your donation to us helps tremendously in our maintaining our mission and moving forward in the community.
For me, my heart beats on the riverside at the campus of Fort Wright College. That's where my life changed. Unbelievable thankfulness.
Holy Names Music Center is more than just a place. It's an energy, and it's activity, it's experience, and it's a big part of our community.